Back in the day, breakfast wasn't about quick convenience or trendy health kicks. It was about heart, tradition, and filling up for the day ahead. From the 1950s through the 1970s, families across the country enjoyed breakfasts that were as much about memory as they were about nourishment. Today, let's take a trip down memory lane and honor those nostalgic breakfasts that we all grew up with. And if you remember eating these, you just might be a little older than you think. Scrambled eggs and bacon. Scrambled eggs and crispy bacon. If breakfast had a power couple, this would be it. Simple, timeless, and guaranteed to make any morning feel like a cozy weekend. This dynamic duo embodies everything we love about a satisfying breakfast: warmth, ease, and comfort. It's the kind of dish that doesn't require much effort, but rewards you with incredible flavor and that familiar, heartwarming breakfast feeling. Whether it's the indulgence of crispy bacon or the soft, creamy eggs, this meal never fails to make the start of your day feel just a little bit special.
Today, we're gonna cook bacon with scrambled egg.
Back in the 1950s and 60s, scrambled eggs and bacon were the stars of many American breakfast tables. Often, they were reserved for weekends or special occasions when there was enough time to savor a meal before heading out into the hustle of the day. Bacon, with its irresistible crispiness and savory richness, has long been a revered breakfast food. It's no surprise that it pairs so perfectly with the soft, neutral flavor of eggs. Together, they created a breakfast that not only filled bellies, but also provided the energy families needed for their busy days. A plate of eggs, bacon, and toast was a quintessential breakfast, symbolizing a good start to the day, energizing those who would head off to work or school. The magic of scrambled eggs and bacon lies in its simplicity. You don't need fancy ingredients or complex techniques to pull this dish together. With just 4 main ingredients, eggs, bacon, butter, and seasoning, you can create a breakfast that feels indulgent without requiring much effort. For the basic recipe, you'll need fresh eggs, about 3 strips of bacon, or more, depending on your bacon love, a tablespoon of butter for cooking the eggs, and a pinch of salt and pepper to bring out the flavors. If you prefer extra creamy eggs, you can also add a splash of milk or cream. Let's start with the bacon. Place your strips of bacon in a cold skillet, preferably cast iron for an even cook, and set the heat to medium. As the skillet heats up, the bacon will begin to release its fat. This is the secret to achieving that crispy texture. Cook the bacon for about 8 to 10 minutes, flipping occasionally until the strips are golden and crispy. Once cooked, remove the bacon from the pan and place it on a paper towel to drain any excess grease. But don't discard the bacon fat just yet. Save a little bit to cook the eggs in. This will add an extra layer of flavor to the dish. For the scrambled eggs, crack your eggs into a bowl, add a pinch of salt and pepper, and whisk them together until well combined. For creamier eggs, feel free to mix in a splash of milk or cream. Heat a tablespoon of butter in a separate pan over medium-low heat. Be careful not to let the butter brown. It should melt gently and begin to bubble. Once the butter has melted, pour in the beaten eggs. The key to perfect scrambled eggs is patience. Don't rush it. Let them cook slowly. Stir the eggs occasionally with a spatula, ensuring that the wet eggs mix in with the more set parts. As the eggs begin to cook, continue to stir gently, allowing them to cook evenly. When the eggs are mostly set, but still a little runny, remove them from the heat. The residual heat will continue to cook them, leaving you with soft, creamy eggs. Now, it's time to plate your scrambled eggs and bacon. Place the fluffy eggs on a plate and top them with the crispy bacon you set aside earlier. You can break the bacon into smaller pieces or leave it whole for a satisfying crunch with each bite. A final sprinkle of freshly ground black pepper on the eggs will add a nice touch of flavor and enhance the richness of the dish. Imagine a steaming plate of golden scrambled eggs, soft, velvety, and just slightly glistening with butter, sitting beside crispy bacon that's perfectly crunchy and packed with savory goodness. As you dig in, the eggs break apart easily into soft curds, while the bacon crumbles into perfect bite-sized pieces. The contrast between the creamy eggs and the crispy bacon is what makes this dish so comforting and satisfying. It's the kind of breakfast that makes you feel at home, no matter where you are. What makes scrambled eggs and bacon so enduring is its simplicity. It's a dish that doesn't need any embellishment or fancy ingredients to shine. There's a timelessness to it that appeals to generations of people, from those who grew up with it in the 1950s and 60s to those who continue to enjoy it today. This humble combination of eggs and bacon has stood the test of time because it's real, it's honest, and it's always delicious. Sometimes the best meals don't need to be complicated. They just need to be made with care and enjoyed in the moment. So, the next time you wake up to the smell of sizzling bacon, take a moment to appreciate this classic breakfast. It's a dish that brings comfort and joy with every bite. A reminder that in the world of breakfast, this simple combination of scrambled eggs and crispy bacon is as good as it gets. Creamed chipped beef on toast. Creamed chipped beef on toast, affectionately known as SOS, stuff on a shingle, is a classic comfort food with a rich history. Popular during World War II, it became a favorite in military mess halls due to its affordability, ease of preparation, and ability to feed large groups. Over time, it made its way into American households, becoming a staple for many, particularly as a hearty breakfast, a late-night snack, or even a light dinner. Despite its unglamorous name, creamed chipped beef on toast remains a nostalgic dish, beloved for its simplicity and satisfying warmth. The dish's charm lies in the combination of crispy, slightly salty chipped beef and a creamy sauce served on top of toasted bread. This meal evokes memories of cold mornings, offering a cozy and hearty breakfast that sticks with you. Chipped beef, often dry and salted, was once a common food in military rations, and cooks devised this recipe to make the tough, salty meat more palatable. Soon, it wasn't just for soldiers, it became a practical and comforting choice for many families.
Creamed chipped beef on toast. It's an absolutely delicious basic dish.
To make creamed chipped beef on toast, you'll need a few basic ingredients: dried chipped beef, butter, flour, milk, and bread. The simplicity of these ingredients is what makes this dish easy to prepare and perfect for a throwback meal. Begin by rinsing the chipped beef under cold water to remove some of its excess salt. Chopped into small pieces, the beef will become the star of your creamy sauce. Next, melt butter in a skillet over medium heat. Whisk in flour to create a roux, which will form the base of your creamy sauce. Cook the roux for a minute or two, being careful not to let it brown. Slowly add milk while whisking, ensuring the mixture stays smooth and lump-free. Continue stirring until the sauce thickens to a creamy consistency. This will create the rich coating for the beef. Add the chopped chipped beef to the sauce, stirring to combine. Let it simmer for a few minutes, allowing the beef to heat through and absorb the flavors of the sauce. Season with salt and pepper, and if you like, add a dash of paprika to spice it up a bit. While the beef simmers, toast a few slices of bread. Opt for a sturdy bread like white, whole wheat, or sourdough that can hold up to the creamy sauce without becoming soggy. Once golden and crisp, pile the creamy chipped beef mixture on top of the toast. The result is a comforting dish with layers of flavor and texture. The savory, salty beef pairs perfectly with the rich sauce, while the toast adds a delightful crunch. It's a simple yet deeply satisfying meal that evokes nostalgia for a time when meals were hearty and practical, filling both the stomach and the soul. For many, cream chipped beef on toast is more than just a meal. It's a connection to the past, a reminder of a time when comfort foods like this were a reliable, budget-friendly choice for families. The dish holds a special place in the hearts of those who grew up with it, often linked to memories of home-cooked breakfasts or simple dinners. So next time you're craving something warm and satisfying, give creamed chipped beef on toast a try. Whether you call it SOS or simply comfort food, it's a dish that offers more than just nourishment. It's a taste of history, a meal that reminds us of a time when food was about more than just filling our stomachs. It was about feeding our souls, one bite at a time. Biscuits and gravy. Few breakfasts are as comforting as a plate of biscuits and gravy, a classic Southern dish. It's been a beloved staple for generations, often evoking nostalgia for simpler times. Whether enjoyed on a lazy weekend morning or served at family gatherings, biscuits and gravy have a way of making any meal feel like a warm embrace. The fluffy biscuits, smothered in rich, creamy sausage gravy, are the perfect balance of flavors and textures, a hearty breakfast that sticks with you. The origins of biscuits and gravy are deeply rooted in Southern cuisine.
Now, biscuits and gravy is a truly classic Southern breakfast.
Biscuits, made with butter or lard for flakiness, were once used as a practical way to use up leftover dough, and sausage gravy came about as a way to stretch meat during times of scarcity. During the Great Depression, the dish became a budget-friendly meal for families, and its popularity spread, making its way to diner menus and into homes across the U.S. With the rise of Southern hospitality and diner culture in the 20th century, biscuits and gravy became a go-to breakfast, loved for its warmth and richness. To make this dish, you'll need basic ingredients: flour, baking powder, butter, milk, salt, and sausage for the biscuits, and sausage, flour, milk, butter, and black pepper for the gravy. Though it may seem like a lot of steps, the process is simple, and the end result is well worth the effort. Start by preheating your oven to 450 degrees Fahrenheit and lining a baking sheet with parchment paper. In a large bowl, combine 2 cups of all-purpose flour, a tablespoon of baking powder, and a pinch of salt. Add in a half cup of cold, cubed butter, and use a pastry cutter or your fingers to cut the butter into the flour until it resembles coarse crumbs. Gradually add a half cup of milk, stirring gently to bring the dough together without overworking it. Turn the dough onto a lightly floured surface. Knead it gently for a minute, then pat it into a rectangle about an inch thick. Cut out biscuits using a round cutter, place them on the baking sheet, and bake for 10 to 12 minutes, or until golden brown on top. Once done, slather the biscuits with butter and set them aside. For the gravy, heat a skillet over medium heat and cook the sausage until browned and crumbled, about 5 to 7 minutes. If there's excess grease, drain a little off, but leave some behind to thicken the gravy. Sprinkle 2 tablespoons of flour into the sausage and stir it for a minute to create a roux. Slowly pour in 2 cups of milk, stirring constantly to avoid lumps. Keep stirring until the gravy thickens into a creamy consistency. Season with salt and a generous amount of black pepper to give it that classic savory bite. Once the gravy is thick and creamy, it's ready. To serve, place 1 or 2 biscuits on a plate and pour the creamy sausage gravy over the top. Don't skimp on the gravy. It's the star of the dish. The biscuits should be light and buttery, while the gravy is rich, thick, and full of sausage flavor. The combination of the flaky biscuit and the smooth, peppery gravy is a comforting meal that sticks with you. Biscuits and gravy are the epitome of comfort food. They combine rich, savory flavors with a sense of nostalgia, reminding us of a time when meals were about simplicity and heartiness. This dish has been warming bellies and hearts for generations, and it continues to be a favorite. The next time you're craving a breakfast that feels like home, biscuits and gravy will never let you down. It's a meal that makes you appreciate the tradition and warmth of a well-made breakfast. Oatmeal with brown sugar and cream. There's something timeless and comforting about a warm bowl of oatmeal, a breakfast staple for generations, often associated with warmth and nourishment. Oatmeal has been a reliable start to the day for many, especially during times when simple, hearty meals were essential. In the 1940s and 1950s, oatmeal became the go-to breakfast for families during the Great Depression and World War II, offering a filling and affordable meal. While now considered a healthy option, oatmeal's true appeal has always been its ability to fuel long days with its comforting, soothing texture. Oatmeal has remained a beloved breakfast choice because of its simplicity and versatility. Whether eaten plain or enhanced with toppings like brown sugar and cream, it's a comforting, warm dish that can be enjoyed in countless ways. For many, the combination of brown sugar and cream is the ultimate way to enjoy oatmeal, transforming it into a sweet and indulgent treat that still feels wholesome.
Maple and brown sugar oatmeal. It is so simple and easy to make.
To make a bowl of oatmeal with brown sugar and cream, you'll need just a few pantry staples: rolled oats, water, brown sugar, cream or milk, and a pinch of salt. Start by cooking the oats according to package instructions. Typically, the ratio is 1 cup of oats to 2 cups of water. Bring the water to a boil in a saucepan. Stir in the oats, reduce the heat, and simmer for about 5 to 7 minutes. Stir occasionally until the oats are soft and have absorbed most of the water, becoming thick and creamy. Some prefer a thicker oatmeal, while others like a bit more liquid. It's all about personal preference. Once the oatmeal reaches your desired consistency, remove it from the heat. Stir in a pinch of salt to bring out the oat's natural sweetness, followed by a generous spoonful of brown sugar. The rich, molasses-like sweetness of the brown sugar gives the oatmeal that familiar, comforting flavor. Mix until the sugar is fully dissolved and the oatmeal takes on a lovely golden hue. To finish off your bowl, add a splash of cream or milk for a smooth, velvety texture. The cream turns the oatmeal into something decadent, while still keeping it light enough for breakfast. Stir it in until the oatmeal becomes even creamier. The contrast of the warm oats with the cold cream adds a layer of richness that makes this dish feel luxurious. Once everything is mixed, pour the oatmeal into a bowl. For an extra touch, you can sprinkle a bit more brown sugar on top, or even add a dash of cinnamon or fresh fruit if you like. But the simple combination of oatmeal, brown sugar, and cream is perfect as it is. Humble, filling, and utterly satisfying. With each bite, the smooth, creamy oats warm you from the inside, while the brown sugar adds just the right amount of sweetness without being overwhelming. The cream makes it indulgent, but not too rich, just enough to make you feel cozy and content. The soft, hearty texture of the oats, combined with the sweet flavors, is the kind of breakfast that feels like a warm blanket on a cold morning. Oatmeal with brown sugar and cream is more than just a meal. It's a comforting tradition, connecting us to the past. It's a reminder of a time when breakfast was about fueling the day and sharing a warm moment with loved ones. For those who grew up with this meal, it holds a special place in the heart, evoking memories of slower mornings and simple pleasures. So the next time you crave something warm and soothing, make a bowl of oatmeal, stir in the brown sugar, and pour in the cream. It's a dish that brings back memories and wraps you in the warmth of a simpler time. Pancakes with maple syrup. There's a certain kind of magic in the air when pancakes are cooking on a griddle. The smell wafts through the house, filling the kitchen with the kind of warmth that makes you want to curl up at the table with a big stack, a pat of butter, and a generous pour of syrup. Pancakes are one of those dishes that have a nostalgic, almost universal appeal. Whether you grew up with them on lazy Sunday mornings or as a special treat on your birthday, they're the breakfast that feels like an event. But what makes them truly unforgettable is that golden, sticky maple syrup that pools on top, dripping down the fluffy layers in the most comforting way imaginable. Pancakes with maple syrup are the kind of dish that's as American as apple pie, and for good reason. This pairing has been a beloved breakfast tradition for decades, transcending generations and holding a special place in the hearts of anyone who's ever enjoyed a leisurely morning. In the early 20th century, pancakes were a staple in many homes, often served with whatever syrup was available, though by the 1960s, real maple syrup began to gain popularity with its rich, deep flavor that no imitation syrup could replicate. Pancakes, once just a simple utilitarian breakfast, transformed into a treat that people looked forward to all week long.
Making some golden, fluffy, delicious pancakes.
Making pancakes isn't difficult, but it's one of those dishes that benefits from a little care and attention to detail. The result is a golden stack of fluffy, slightly crispy on the outside, tender on the inside pancakes. And when topped with real maple syrup, the flavor is so comforting, so warm, it's no wonder pancakes have stayed a breakfast favorite for so long. To start, you'll need a few basic ingredients: flour, eggs, milk, sugar, baking powder, salt, and butter. These are pantry staples, the kinds of things you likely already have on hand. The real key to perfect pancakes lies in the balance of ingredients and the technique used to cook them. Begin by whisking together the dry ingredients. 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, 3.5 teaspoons of baking powder, a tablespoon of sugar, and a pinch of salt. In a separate bowl, beat together 1 egg, 1.25 cups of milk, and 2 tablespoons of melted butter. The trick here is to mix the wet ingredients thoroughly before adding them to the dry ingredients. You don't want to overmix your pancake batter, just stir it until it's combined. A few lumps are perfectly fine. In fact, they'll help keep the pancakes light and airy. Next, heat a griddle or a non-stick skillet over medium heat, allowing it to warm up. If you're using a skillet, lightly grease it with butter or oil, making sure it's evenly coated. You can test if it's the right temperature by dropping a small amount of water on the surface. If it sizzles and evaporates immediately, you're good to go. Now, it's time to cook the pancakes. Pour about 1/4 cup of batter onto the griddle for each pancake, spreading it slightly into a round shape with the back of your spoon. You'll know it's time to flip the pancake when small bubbles form on the surface and the edges begin to look set. This usually takes about 2 to 3 minutes. Carefully flip the pancake over with a spatula and cook for another 1 to 2 minutes on the other side until both sides are golden brown. Once the pancakes are cooked, place them on a warm plate and cover them with a clean towel to keep them warm while you finish the rest. You can stack them high or simply serve them one at a time, depending on your style. The final touch is the syrup. While you can certainly use whatever syrup you have on hand, there's something about real maple syrup that elevates pancakes to another level. Pour the syrup generously over your stack, letting it drip down the sides and pool on the plate. The rich sweetness of the maple syrup complements the soft, fluffy pancakes in a way that's pure magic. The butter melts into the pancakes and the syrup sinks in, creating the perfect balance of sweetness and richness. Each bite is a perfect combination of flavors and textures: the slight crunch of the pancake's edges, the softness of the inside, and the sweetness of the syrup that's soaked in and dripped over every surface. The warm, comforting feeling of enjoying pancakes on a slow morning never fades, and with each bite, you're reminded of why this dish has stood the test of time. Pancakes with maple syrup are more than just a breakfast. They're an experience. Whether you're sharing them with family around the table, serving them for a special occasion, or enjoying a quiet moment by yourself, pancakes bring a sense of joy and nostalgia. They're simple, yet luxurious, comforting, yet special. And when made from scratch, they become a true treat, one that makes you appreciate the little moments in life. So the next time you find yourself with a griddle, some ingredients, and a craving for something warm and sweet, remember, pancakes with maple syrup are a breakfast that never goes out of style. Waffles with butter and syrup. There's something magical about the crispiness of waffles, whether it's the satisfying crunch of the golden brown exterior or the light, airy interior. Waffles have the perfect balance of indulgence and comfort, and when topped with butter and syrup, they're irresistible. Unlike pancakes, which are cozy and laid back, waffles feel like an event. Whether served with fresh fruit, whipped cream, or simply butter and syrup, waffles elevate any morning into a celebration. Often seen as the sophisticated cousin to pancakes, waffles gained popularity in American households in the 1960s and 1970s, thanks to the rise of the home waffle iron. Before this, waffles were often a special treat, made from scratch and cooked in elaborate cast iron waffle irons over an open flame. Today, the convenience of modern waffle irons makes it easy to enjoy golden, crispy waffles anytime. Making waffles requires the right ingredients and technique. The batter, which is similar to pancake batter, but with more fat for a crispier exterior, benefits from a touch of sugar to help it caramelize. Vanilla extract adds a delightful fragrance as the waffles cook. The key to perfect waffles lies in balancing these ingredients and not overmixing the batter to keep them light and fluffy. To start, preheat your waffle iron. Each waffle iron is different, but you'll know it's ready when a drop of water sizzles on the surface. In a large bowl, whisk together 1½ cups of all-purpose flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and a pinch of salt. In another bowl, beat 2 eggs, then add 1¼ cups of milk, 1/4 cup of melted butter, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Mix the wet ingredients into the dry ingredients, stirring until just combined. A few lumps are okay. Overmixing can make the waffles dense. Lightly grease the preheated waffle iron with butter or non-stick spray, then pour in enough batter to fill the iron without overflowing. Close the lid and cook the waffles for 3 to 5 minutes, depending on your waffle iron settings, until golden and crispy. If you're unsure, check after a few minutes. Most irons have a light that turns off when they're done. Once cooked, remove the waffles carefully and place them on a warm plate. You can cover them with a towel to keep them warm while you finish cooking the rest, or serve them immediately for maximum enjoyment. To serve, place a waffle on a plate, add a generous pat of butter, and let it melt into every nook and cranny. Pour warm syrup over the top, letting it drizzle down the sides and pool in the waffle's pockets. The rich sweetness of the syrup contrasts beautifully with the buttery, crispy waffle, creating a perfect balance of flavors. The texture of a waffle is what sets it apart from other breakfast foods. Its crispy exterior gives way to a soft and fluffy interior, creating a satisfying crunch, followed by melt-in-your-mouth softness. The syrup and butter add the right amount of richness, while the slightly caramelized edges add extra flavor. The syrup soaks into the waffle's square pockets, making each bite feel like a special treat. Waffles with butter and syrup are a timeless breakfast dish, both indulgent and simple. Whether you enjoy them for a special occasion or as an everyday treat, they'll always bring warmth and joy to your table. Next time you fire up that waffle iron, take a moment to appreciate the crispy, golden magic waffles bring to the morning, and don't forget the butter and syrup. It's a meal that makes you feel like you've started the day with something truly extraordinary. Toast with jam or jelly. Toast with jam or jelly is a simple, comforting breakfast that brings instant nostalgia and warmth. With just a slice of bread, butter, and a spoonful of sweet fruity spread, this dish offers a perfect balance of crispy toast and sticky sweetness. It's the kind of meal that takes you back to simpler times, reminding us of childhood mornings when everything felt slower and more relaxed. This classic dish has been around for centuries, with variations dating back to the early 19th century. It became particularly popular in mid-20th century American homes, especially after World War II, when processed foods and mass-produced bread made it an easy, affordable breakfast choice. Over time, it has remained a beloved, quick option for anyone craving a satisfying start to their day. To make toast with jam or jelly, you only need 3 ingredients: bread, butter, and your favorite fruit spread. The type of bread you choose can really make a difference, whether it's thick white bread, hearty whole wheat, or rustic sourdough. The key is to pick bread that holds up well under the butter and jam without becoming soggy. Spread butter on the warm toast so it melts into the bread, creating a rich base for the jam or jelly. Start by toasting your bread to the desired level of crispiness, golden brown with edges slightly crispy, but not overly crunchy. The contrast between the warm toast and the cool sweet fruit spread is what makes this dish so comforting. Once the toast is done, spread a thin layer of butter while it's still warm, letting it melt and soak into the bread. Now comes the fun part, choosing your jam or jelly. Whether you go for classic strawberry or grape jam, or try other flavors like raspberry, apricot, or blackberry, the fruity spread adds just the right amount of sweetness. The tartness of the fruit balances perfectly with the buttery toast, creating a satisfying bite. Once you've generously slathered the jam or jelly over the buttered toast, take a moment to appreciate its simplicity. There's nothing fancy about this meal, just bread, butter, and fruit spread. But that's what makes it so comforting. The jam doesn't overpower the toast. Instead, it complements the warmth and richness of the buttered bread, enhancing the overall flavor. Some like to add extra touches like a sprinkle of cinnamon or powdered sugar, or even a dollop of cream cheese for a creamy twist. However, keeping it simple with just toast, butter, and jam allows the dish to shine in its purest form. Whether enjoyed for a quick breakfast, a snack, or even a late-night treat, toast with jam or jelly is always a crowd pleaser. More than just a breakfast food, toast with jam or jelly is a memory in a bite. It reminds us of lazy mornings, the aroma of brewing coffee, and the gentle warmth of the sun shining through the windows. Even in its simplicity, it feels special, evoking a sense of tradition and comfort. So, next time you're craving something quick but satisfying, toast with jam or jelly will always hit the spot. It's easy to love and easy to share with the people you care about. Cereal with milk. There's a simple comfort in a bowl of cereal with milk, a breakfast that feels like home no matter where you are or how old you've become. For many, cereal was the first grown-up breakfast, providing a quick, satisfying start to the day. This combination of crunchy, often sweet flakes or puffs in cold milk has been a staple for decades, evoking nostalgia and offering a no-fuss meal that remains a favorite for busy mornings. Cereal, as we know it today, began to take shape in the early 20th century, when industrial food production met the need for quick, convenient meals. By the 1950s, cereals from brands like Post and Kellogg's dominated American kitchens, often eaten by children while watching Saturday morning cartoons. As convenience became a priority, cereal with milk became the perfect solution for families in need of an easy, filling breakfast. What makes cereal with milk so enduring is its simplicity. You don't need much, just your favorite cereal and cold milk. Whether you prefer sugary cereals like Frosted Flakes or Cocoa Puffs, or something more wholesome like oatmeal squares or bran flakes, cereal offers a wide range of choices. It's this versatility that keeps it relevant across generations, as there's truly something for everyone. To make a bowl of cereal with milk, start by selecting your cereal. The beauty of this meal is its customizability, whether you choose a light, small serving or fill your bowl to the brim. Pour the cereal into a bowl, adjusting the amount based on how hungry you are. Then, pour milk, whole, skim, or dairy-free, over the cereal. The milk adds a smooth, creamy texture, soaking into the cereal but not drowning it. The right amount of milk is key, enough to soften the cereal but not too much to make it soggy. The experience of eating cereal with milk is all about balance. Whether you eat it quickly, enjoying the crunch, or take your time, letting each bite soak a little before eating, the meal is comforting and familiar. As the milk seeps into the cereal, softening it just enough, you're reminded of childhood mornings or slow weekends. The sweetness of the cereal and the creamy milk work in harmony, making each bite satisfying. And let's not forget the fun of customizing your cereal. You can add sliced bananas, strawberries, or blueberries for a burst of fruitiness. A sprinkle of cinnamon or honey can enhance the sweetness, while nuts provide a crunchy texture and transform the dish into a heartier meal. Mixing cereals together, throwing in a little of this and that, lets you create a unique bowl every time. This flexibility is part of what makes cereal with milk such a popular breakfast choice. Cereal with milk is more than just a meal. It's a part of our daily routines and a comforting constant. It's quick, reliable, and simple, making it perfect for a hurried morning or a leisurely breakfast at the table. Whether you enjoy it while rushing out the door or lounging on the couch with your favorite TV show, cereal remains a timeless classic. It's easy, comforting, and always just right. Grits with butter and cheese. Few comfort foods are as satisfying as a bowl of grits with butter and cheese. This Southern classic has become a beloved dish across the United States, known for its creamy texture and ability to soak up rich, savory flavors. Grits, made from ground corn, are a staple of Southern cooking, and when paired with butter and cheese, they become an indulgent treat, perfect for any time of day. Grits have a long history, dating back to Native American cuisine. Early Southern settlers adapted the practice of grinding corn into a coarse meal, and grits were born. Over time, they evolved from a simple side dish to the star of many Southern meals, often served alongside eggs, bacon, or sausage. Grits are incredibly versatile, and while they are delicious with just butter and salt, adding cheese turns them into a rich, comforting dish. To make grits with butter and cheese, you'll need just a few basic ingredients: grits, water, butter, cheese, usually cheddar, but any melty cheese works, and salt. The process is simple, but requires a little patience for that perfect creamy texture. Start by bringing 4 cups of water to a boil in a medium saucepan. Once the water is boiling, slowly stir in 1 cup of grits, ensuring there are no lumps. Reduce the heat to low and simmer for 20 to 25 minutes, stirring occasionally to prevent sticking. The grits should absorb most of the water and become thick and creamy. For creamier grits, you can add a splash of milk or cream toward the end of cooking. Once the grits are ready, stir in a tablespoon of butter to add richness and smoothness. Then, fold in a handful of shredded cheese. Cheddar is the classic choice, but you can try Monterey Jack or Parmesan for a different twist. Stir until the cheese melts completely into the grits, making them even creamier. Season the grits with salt to taste, and feel free to add black pepper for a bit of spice. The cheese and butter provide plenty of flavor, so you don't need many additional spices. Serve the grits in bowls, and for an extra indulgent touch, add a little more butter and cheese on top. The cheese should still be slightly melty, creating a rich layer of flavor over the warm grits. If you want to take it to the next level, drizzle some hot sauce or sprinkle crispy bacon bits for a savory kick. Each bite of grits with butter and cheese is a comforting, velvety mouthful. The cornmeal's slightly gritty texture contrasts perfectly with the smoothness of the butter and gooey cheese. The warmth of the dish feels like a hug from the inside, and the richness of the cheese adds depth without overwhelming the simple flavors. Grits with butter and cheese is more than just a breakfast. It's a Southern tradition passed down through generations. Whether enjoyed as a weekday breakfast, a weekend treat, or even as a savory side dish, it remains a classic comfort food that never goes out of style. If you've never tried grits before, this is the perfect introduction. The simplicity and creamy goodness of butter and cheese will make you a fan for life. So, next time you're craving something warm, comforting, and satisfying, reach for the grits and indulge in this Southern classic. With its rich, creamy texture and comforting flavors, it's a dish that has stood the test of time. Fried eggs with hash browns. Fried eggs with hash browns is a breakfast classic that combines simplicity with satisfaction. This hearty dish, consisting of crispy hash browns and eggs cooked to your preference, offers a delightful balance of flavors and textures. Whether you prefer your eggs sunny side up, over easy, or scrambled, it's the perfect way to start the day, and it brings a touch of warmth and comfort to any morning. Fried eggs with hash browns became a symbol of the classic American diner breakfast during the 1950s and 1960s, with diners serving hearty plates of eggs and potatoes to hungry customers. This meal, affordable and filling, became a staple for families on the go and travelers seeking a hearty breakfast before hitting the road. Its enduring popularity speaks to its simple yet satisfying nature. To make this dish, you'll need basic ingredients: potatoes, eggs, butter, oil, salt, and pepper. The process is straightforward, but there are a few key steps to getting everything just right. Start with the hash browns. Peel and shred 2 large potatoes, leaving the skins on for extra texture if desired. After shredding, squeeze out excess moisture from the potatoes using a clean kitchen towel or paper towels. This step is crucial, as drier potatoes will crisp up better. Heat a large skillet over medium heat and add 2 tablespoons of oil, allowing it to heat until shimmering but not smoking. Spread the shredded potatoes evenly in the pan and let them cook undisturbed for about 5 to 7 minutes to form a golden brown crust on the bottom. After that, flip the hash browns and cook the other side for another 5 to 7 minutes. Once both sides are crispy, season with salt and pepper and set them aside on paper towels to drain excess oil. Next, cook the eggs. Heat a nonstick skillet over medium heat and add a small knob of butter. Once it melts and begins to bubble, crack 2 eggs into the pan. For sunny side up eggs, cook for 3 to 4 minutes, allowing the whites to set and the yolk to remain runny. For over easy eggs, flip carefully and cook for an additional 1 to 2 minutes, keeping the yolk slightly soft. For well done eggs, cook longer until the yolks are fully set. Once the eggs are cooked to your liking, plate the hash browns and top them with the eggs. Season the eggs with a little extra salt, pepper, or even a pinch of paprika for added flavor. You can serve this dish with toast or fresh fruit to round out the meal. The result is a satisfying, hearty breakfast. The crispy, golden hash browns provide a perfect contrast to the rich, creamy eggs. Each bite combines savory, crunchy, and tender textures, making it a comforting and filling meal that sticks with you throughout the day. Fried eggs with hash browns is more than just a breakfast. It's a tradition, evoking memories of diner breakfasts or weekend mornings at home. Whether you're making it in your own kitchen or enjoying it at a diner, this dish never goes out of style. Its simplicity, warmth, and satisfying flavors make it a timeless favorite that's sure to brighten any morning. So, next time you're looking for a breakfast to start your day right, try fried eggs with hash browns. It's a comforting classic that will always hit the spot. Cinnamon rolls. Few smells are as enticing as cinnamon rolls baking in the oven. Their warm, sweet aroma fills the house, making everything feel a little more special. With soft, pillowy dough, spiced cinnamon, and sugar swirls, and a gooey icing that drips down the sides, cinnamon rolls are the ultimate indulgent breakfast treat. Whether enjoyed on a lazy Sunday or served at a family gathering, these rolls evoke nostalgia and comfort. Cinnamon rolls have a long history, dating back centuries. But it wasn't until the 1950s and 1960s, when families began baking them at home, that they became a breakfast staple. Packaged dough and convenience ingredients made cinnamon rolls easier to make, turning them from a special bakery treat to a daily indulgence. Their magical combination of soft dough, rich cinnamon filling, and sticky icing makes them irresistible. A beloved comfort food that turns an ordinary morning into something extraordinary. To make cinnamon rolls from scratch, you'll need flour, sugar, yeast, milk, butter, eggs, cinnamon, and a pinch of salt. The process requires patience, but is well worth the effort for the fluffy cinnamon sweet result. Start by preparing the dough. Heat 1 cup of milk to about 110 degrees Fahrenheit, warm but not hot, and stir in 1 tablespoon of sugar and 1 packet of active dry yeast. Let it sit for 5 minutes until it becomes foamy. In a large bowl, mix 4 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1/4 cup of sugar. Add the yeast mixture, 2 beaten eggs, and 1/4 cup of softened butter, stirring until the dough begins to come together. Turn the dough out onto a lightly floured surface and knead for 8 to 10 minutes until smooth and elastic. Let it rise in a greased bowl, covered with a cloth, for 1 to 1.5 hours until it has doubled in size. While the dough is rising, prepare the cinnamon filling. In a small bowl, mix 1 cup of packed brown sugar with 2 tablespoons of ground cinnamon. Set aside. Once the dough has risen, punch it down and roll it into a 12 by 18-inch rectangle. Spread half a cup of softened butter evenly over the dough, then sprinkle the cinnamon sugar mixture generously over the top. Starting at one long edge, roll the dough into a tight log and pinch the edge to seal it. Slice the log into 12 even rolls and place them in a greased 9 by 13-inch baking dish. Let the rolls rise for 30 minutes to an hour until they puff up. Preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Once the rolls have risen, bake them for 25 to 30 minutes, or until golden brown on top. The kitchen will smell heavenly as they bake. While the rolls are cooling slightly, make the icing. In a small bowl, mix 1 cup of powdered sugar with 1 to 2 tablespoons of milk and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract until smooth. The icing should be runny enough to drizzle over the rolls, but thick enough to stay put. Once the rolls have cooled slightly, drizzle the icing generously over the top. The warm rolls will absorb the sweetness, turning each bite into a gooey, cinnamon sugar-filled treat. Each cinnamon roll is a soft, fluffy slice of comfort, with the cinnamon filling and sweet icing creating a perfect balance of flavors. The richness of the butter and sugar, combined with the cinnamon, creates an indulgent treat that is both satisfying and delicious. Whether you enjoy them for breakfast, brunch, or a snack, cinnamon rolls are the kind of food that brings people together and makes every moment feel special. Making cinnamon rolls from scratch may take time, but the joy they bring is absolutely worth it. They're not just a breakfast item. They're a tradition and a reminder of how food can create warmth and bring people closer. Whether you're making them for a holiday, family gathering, or simply because you're in the mood for something sweet, cinnamon rolls are guaranteed to make every occasion feel a little warmer. Sausage and egg sandwich. The sausage and egg sandwich is a classic breakfast that's both satisfying and simple. Combining savory sausage, rich eggs, and a soft toasted bun, it's the kind of meal that can be enjoyed at the kitchen table or taken on the go. Whether it's part of a relaxed weekend breakfast or a quick weekday bite, this sandwich has become a beloved comfort food, cherished for its flavor and convenience. This dish gained significant popularity in the 1960s and 1970s with the rise of fast food chains like McDonald's, which introduced the breakfast sandwich to their menus. However, the sausage and egg sandwich was already a favorite in many households before becoming a fast food staple. Its appeal lies in the combination of tender eggs, slightly spicy sausage, and a pillowy bun, topped with condiments like ketchup or hot sauce for added flavor. To make this breakfast classic at home, you'll need a few basic ingredients: breakfast sausage, eggs, a soft sandwich roll or English muffin, and any condiments you like, such as ketchup, hot sauce, or a slice of cheese. The key to a great sausage and egg sandwich is cooking each component to perfection and assembling them just right. Start by cooking the sausage. If you're using sausage patties, heat a skillet over medium heat and cook the patties for about 3 to 4 minutes per side until they're golden brown and cooked through. If using loose sausage, crumble it into the pan and cook until browned, breaking it up into smaller pieces as it cooks. Once done, set the sausage aside and keep it warm. Next, cook the eggs. You can fry them in the same skillet, allowing them to soak up some of the savory sausage flavor. Add a bit of butter to the skillet and crack the eggs in, cooking them to your preferred doneness. Some like sunny-side-up eggs with runny yolks, while others prefer their eggs cooked through. For a more traditional sandwich, you can scramble the eggs to create a soft, fluffy base for the sausage. While the eggs cook, toast your buns or English muffins. You can toast them in a toaster or place them cut side down in the same skillet to give them a slight crunch. The toasted bun adds a perfect contrast to the creamy eggs and savory sausage. Now it's time to assemble the sandwich. Place a sausage patty or a few spoonfuls of crumbled sausage on the bottom half of the toasted bun. Top with the freshly cooked egg, making sure to keep the yolk intact if you prefer it sunny side up. If you like cheese, add a slice on top to melt over the egg. For an extra kick, drizzle with ketchup, hot sauce, or mustard. Place the other half of the toasted bun on top, press down gently, and your sandwich is ready. The result is a hearty and filling sandwich, with the sausage adding a savory punch and the egg providing richness and softness. The toasted bun ties everything together, making it easy to enjoy without any mess. Each bite offers a satisfying combination of textures: crunchy, soft, savory, and rich. What makes the sausage and egg sandwich so appealing is its simplicity. It's easy to make, yet filling enough to keep you satisfied throughout the morning. Plus, it's endlessly customizable. Add cheese, switch to scrambled eggs, or use hot sauce for a spicier kick. You can even swap out the bread for a biscuit or bagel. No matter how you prepare it, the heart of the sandwich remains the same. A delicious, satisfying breakfast. So, the next time you're craving a quick, satisfying meal, or just want to start your day with something indulgent, the sausage and egg sandwich is the perfect choice. It's simple, comforting, and sure to put a smile on your face, keeping you full and content until lunchtime. The breakfast burrito. The breakfast burrito is the perfect solution for those who need a hearty, flavorful meal on the go, packed with eggs, meat, cheese, and vegetables, all wrapped in a soft tortilla. It offers a satisfying breakfast that combines convenience with deliciousness. Originally inspired by traditional Mexican burritos, the breakfast burrito has roots in southwestern cuisine. It gained widespread popularity in the United States during the 1970s and 1980s, especially after fast food chains began offering them as part of their breakfast menus. Today, the breakfast burrito has become a beloved and versatile dish, enjoyed by people across the country, loved for both its flavor and practicality. The beauty of the breakfast burrito lies in its incredible versatility. While the core ingredients typically include scrambled eggs, breakfast meat, like sausage, bacon, or chorizo, and cheese, the possibilities are endless. You can easily add vegetables, salsa, hot sauce, or even avocado for extra flavor and texture. Each ingredient serves its purpose, creating the perfect balance of savory, spicy, and creamy elements, all wrapped in one convenient, portable package. This flexibility makes it a perfect breakfast for a variety of tastes, dietary preferences, and time constraints. To make a breakfast burrito, start by cooking your breakfast meat. If you're using sausage, crumble it into a skillet and cook it over medium heat until browned and fully cooked. The sausage adds a savory base to the burrito with its rich and slightly spicy flavor. If you prefer bacon, cook it until crispy, then crumble it into small pieces. Bacon brings its signature salty, smoky crunch that complements the softness of the scrambled eggs. For an extra flavorful twist, consider using chorizo, a spiced sausage that adds a distinct bold flavor to the burrito. Once your meat is cooked, set it aside to keep it warm. Next, it's time to scramble the eggs. Beat the eggs with a pinch of salt and pepper in a bowl. Heat a non-stick skillet over medium heat, adding a little butter or oil to prevent sticking. Pour in the beaten eggs and gently stir them with a spatula, ensuring they cook slowly and evenly. The goal is to keep the eggs soft and creamy, avoiding overcooking them. When the eggs are fluffy and tender, remove them from the skillet and set them aside. Now that the meat and eggs are ready, it's time to warm the tortillas. You can do this by heating them on a dry skillet for about 30 seconds per side or by microwaving them for 15 to 20 seconds. The goal is to make the tortillas soft and pliable so they can easily be rolled around the fillings. Don't overheat them, as they may become too crispy and difficult to fold. Assembling the burrito is the fun part. Lay a warm tortilla flat on a clean surface. Add a generous portion of scrambled eggs in the center, followed by your choice of cooked meat. Then, sprinkle shredded cheese over the top. Cheddar, Monterey Jack, or a Mexican cheese blend work particularly well as they melt beautifully, adding creaminess to the burrito. For extra flavor and crunch, you can include diced tomatoes, sautéed peppers and onions, or fresh spinach. These ingredients add a burst of freshness and color, balancing the richness of the eggs and cheese. If you're looking for a little heat, add salsa or hot sauce to taste. A spoonful of salsa will provide some zest, while a dash of hot sauce can bring the perfect kick. For a creamy contrast to the spiciness, add a few slices of avocado, which also lends a velvety texture that complements the other ingredients perfectly. Once your fillings are in place, fold the sides of the tortilla inwards, then roll it up tightly from the bottom, ensuring the ingredients stay neatly tucked inside. The result is a warm, satisfying breakfast wrapped in a soft tortilla. The eggs are fluffy, the cheese is melted, and the meat adds a savory punch. The salsa and avocado provide a refreshing contrast to the richness of the other ingredients, adding both flavor and texture to the meal. What makes the breakfast burrito especially appealing is its versatility. You can swap out ingredients based on what you have on hand or your personal preferences. For a vegetarian version, simply skip the meat and load up on vegetables like sautéed mushrooms, bell peppers, or spinach. Want a more fiery version? Add jalapenos or a dollop of salsa verde for an extra burst of heat. The breakfast burrito allows you to get creative, experimenting with different flavors and combinations to create a dish that suits your mood or dietary needs. Whether you prefer a mild, veggie-filled burrito or a spicy, meat-laden one, the breakfast burrito can be tailored to satisfy any craving. Whether you're making a quick breakfast before a busy day or preparing a batch for a family gathering, the breakfast burrito is guaranteed to satisfy. It's filling, flavorful, and offers a perfect balance of protein, carbs, and fats, all wrapped up in one delicious meal. The tortilla serves as the perfect vessel, holding everything together while providing the ideal texture to complement the soft eggs, savory meat, and melty cheese. And because it's so portable, you can easily take it with you if you're in a rush. So the next time you find yourself craving a hearty, satisfying breakfast, grab a tortilla, fill it with your favorite ingredients, and enjoy a classic dish that never goes out of style. The breakfast burrito is a perfect combination of convenience, flavor, and nutrition, making it a beloved breakfast for people on the go or anyone looking to indulge in a comforting meal. Whether enjoyed at home or packed for lunch, this portable meal remains a breakfast favorite for good reason. Breakfast quiche. A slice of breakfast quiche is the perfect way to start your day, offering a warm, comforting, and satisfying meal that brings a sense of indulgence to the morning. This savory dish consists of a smooth and creamy custard made with eggs, milk, and cream, mixed with a variety of fillings like cheese, vegetables, and meats, all encased in a buttery, flaky pie crust. Quiche is highly versatile, allowing for endless combinations of ingredients from the classic spinach and cheese to a hearty mix of ham, mushrooms, and bacon. Whether you're making it for a leisurely weekend breakfast or serving it at a brunch gathering, quiche is a dish that can be enjoyed by everyone, and it can even be made ahead of time, making it ideal for entertaining or family gatherings. Quiche has its origins in France, particularly in the Lorraine region, where the famous quiche Lorraine was first created. The original version of this dish featured a simple combination of eggs, cream, and bacon in a buttery pie crust. Over time, quiche evolved from a regional French dish to a beloved meal enjoyed both in France and beyond. Its popularity in the United States grew significantly during the 1950s and 1960s, particularly with the rise of brunch culture. Quiche's rich, creamy texture and its adaptability to various ingredients made it a go-to dish for holidays, special occasions, or just a weekend morning when something a little more indulgent was desired. The process of making a breakfast quiche is relatively straightforward, though it does require some time and attention. Whether you choose to use a store-bought crust for convenience or make a homemade one, the filling is where you can really get creative and customize it to your taste. The base of a quiche is made from eggs, cream, or milk, and seasonings, with a variety of savory fillings to bring in additional flavors. Start by preheating your oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit, 190 degrees Celsius. If you're using a store-bought pie crust, unroll it and press it gently into a pie dish, crimping the edges to create a rustic look. If you prefer to make your own crust, a basic dough made with butter, flour, and a pinch of salt will work perfectly. Once the crust is in place, set it aside and begin preparing the filling. For the filling, whisk together 6 large eggs with 1 cup of heavy cream, or milk for a lighter option, in a large mixing bowl. Add a pinch of salt, pepper, and a dash of nutmeg, which pairs wonderfully with the custard base. The beauty of a quiche is that you can adjust the flavor profile to suit your preferences, and a little seasoning goes a long way in enhancing the richness of the egg mixture. Next, add 1 to 1.5 cups of shredded cheese. Cheddar, Swiss, or a blend of both work particularly well, adding depth and creaminess to the quiche. Now, it's time to prepare your fillings. Sauté vegetables like onions, bell peppers, mushrooms, and spinach, which will release excess moisture and keep the quiche from becoming soggy. If you're adding meat, options like crumbled sausage, crispy bacon, or diced ham are all great choices. Be sure to cook the vegetables and meats beforehand, ensuring they are tender and flavorful. For example, cook the bacon until crispy, then crumble it into bite-sized pieces, or sauté the vegetables until soft and fragrant. Once your vegetables and meats are ready, fold them into the egg and cream mixture. This combination of eggs, cream, cheese, and fillings is the heart of your quiche, and you can tailor it to your taste with nearly any combination of ingredients. Pour the prepared filling into the pie crust, spreading it evenly. Place the quiche in the oven and bake for 35 to 40 minutes or until the center is set and a knife inserted into the middle comes out clean. The quiche should be lightly golden on top with a slightly puffed and airy texture. If the crust edges start to brown too quickly, cover them with foil to prevent burning while the quiche finishes baking. After baking, remove the quiche from the oven and allow it to cool for 10 to 15 minutes. This resting time helps the custard set, making the quiche easier to slice and serving to enhance the flavors. Serve the quiche warm or at room temperature. It pairs wonderfully with a light salad, fresh fruit, or crispy bacon on the side. Each bite of breakfast quiche is a perfect combination of a buttery, flaky crust, a creamy custard filling, and savory ingredients. The richness of the eggs and cream is beautifully balanced by the cheese, vegetables, and meats, while the golden, crispy crust adds a satisfying crunch. Whether you're enjoying it as a hearty breakfast, a leisurely brunch, or a light dinner, quiche offers a comforting meal that is as elegant as it is delicious. What makes quiche especially appealing is its versatility. You can easily customize the ingredients based on what you have on hand or your specific taste preferences. If you're in the mood for a vegetarian quiche, you can fill it with spinach, mushrooms, and feta cheese. Or for a meat lover's version, pack it with bacon, sausage, and cheddar. The possibilities are endless, and that's part of what makes quiche so beloved. Quiche is also fantastic for meal prep. Simply make it ahead of time, store it in the fridge, and enjoy it throughout the week. Quiche is more than just a meal. It's a way to bring people together. It's perfect for family gatherings, holiday mornings, or a lazy weekend breakfast. Whether made for a special occasion or just a cozy day at home, quiche has a way of making everything feel a little more indulgent. Its comforting flavors, ease of preparation, and ability to be customized make a homemade breakfast quiche a perfect choice for any occasion. Breakfast skillet. Sometimes the best breakfast is one that's cooked all in one pan, where everything comes together in a harmonious, satisfying dish that's packed with flavor and textures. That's exactly what a breakfast skillet is all about. This hearty, savory dish brings together crispy potatoes, eggs, sausage, or bacon, and often a variety of vegetables, all cooked together in a single skillet. It's the kind of meal that feels like it's made with love, filling, flavorful, and perfect for when you want something a little more substantial to start your day. The breakfast skillet has become a popular choice in diners and home kitchens alike, especially in the post-Waiwu era, when hearty breakfasts were the norm. It's a dish that's built for versatility, meaning you can add or remove ingredients depending on what you have on hand or what you're in the mood for. Whether it's the comforting, crispy hash browns at the base or the creamy scrambled eggs on top, The breakfast skillet combines everything you could want in a meal: savory, salty, rich, and just a little bit indulgent. To make a breakfast skillet, you don't need anything fancy. Just a few ingredients that you likely already have in your kitchen: potatoes, eggs, bacon or sausage, onions, peppers, cheese, and any other veggies or seasonings that you enjoy. It's also a great way to use up leftover vegetables or meats, making it a practical and delicious breakfast. Start by preparing the potatoes. You can use either fresh potatoes or frozen hash browns, depending on what you have available. If you're using fresh potatoes, peel and dice them into small cubes. Heat a couple of tablespoons of oil in a large skillet over medium heat. Once the oil is hot, add the diced potatoes and cook them for about 10 to 15 minutes, stirring occasionally until they are golden brown and crispy. If you're using frozen hash browns, you can skip the dicing step and simply cook them in the skillet according to the package instructions, but make sure to let them get crispy on the edges for that signature texture. While the potatoes are cooking, you can prepare your meat. If you're using sausage, crumble it into small pieces and cook it in a separate pan over medium heat until it's browned and cooked through. For bacon, cook it in the same skillet where you'll cook your potatoes or in a separate pan until it's crispy, then crumble it into bite-sized pieces. You can also add other ingredients like chorizo or ham, depending on what you like. Once the potatoes are crispy and golden, add the cooked sausage or bacon to the skillet. Next, add in any vegetables you want. Bell peppers, onions, mushrooms, and spinach are popular additions, but you can really use whatever you have on hand. Sauté the veggies for a few minutes until they're tender, then stir everything together in the skillet. This is when the magic happens. The savory flavors from the meat, the richness of the crispy potatoes, and the freshness of the veggies all come together in one delicious, cohesive dish. Now, it's time to add the eggs. There are a few different ways to go about this, depending on your preferences. You can either crack the eggs directly into the skillet, spacing them out around the potato and meat mixture, and cook them sunny side up or over easy. This method creates little pockets of runny yolk that mix with the other ingredients, adding richness to every bite. Alternatively, you can scramble the eggs in a bowl and then pour them over the potato and meat mixture, stirring everything together to create a more uniform, soft texture. Both methods are delicious, so it really comes down to your personal preference. Once the eggs are cooked to your liking, sprinkle shredded cheese over the top. Cheddar, Monterey Jack, or a Mexican cheese blend all work wonderfully. Let the cheese melt over the eggs, creating a creamy, cheesy finish to your skillet. To serve, scoop generous portions of the breakfast skillet onto plates and garnish with fresh herbs like cilantro or chives if you like. You can also add a dollop of sour cream, salsa, or a drizzle of hot sauce for some extra flavor and a bit of kick. Each bite of the breakfast skillet is a delightful mix of textures: crispy, creamy, savory, and a little spicy, all working together in perfect harmony. The eggs add richness to the potatoes and meat, while the cheese brings a delicious creaminess that ties everything together. It's a filling, satisfying meal that provides everything you need to start your day off strong. Plus, it's the kind of dish that everyone can customize to their own tastes, so it's perfect for feeding a crowd or making individual servings. The breakfast skillet is the kind of dish that encourages experimentation. You can add whatever ingredients you like: sautéed zucchini, roasted sweet potatoes, or even leftover roasted vegetables from dinner. Want to make it spicier? Add some jalapenos or a sprinkle of chili flakes. Want to go vegetarian? Skip the meat and load up on veggies and cheese. The beauty of the breakfast skillet is that you can make it your own, and it'll always be delicious. Whether you're cooking it up for a weekend brunch or making a quick hearty breakfast before work, the breakfast skillet is a meal that satisfies both the stomach and the soul. It's a celebration of simple ingredients, bold flavors, and the joy of sharing a comforting meal with loved ones. So, next time you want to make something hearty and satisfying, break out the skillet and get ready for a breakfast that'll leave you full and happy until the next meal. And there you have it, folks. 15 classic breakfast dishes that have stood the test of time and continue to bring comfort and warmth to our mornings. Whether you're waking up to the irresistible smell of sizzling bacon and eggs or enjoying a cozy bowl of oatmeal, these dishes are more than just meals. They're memories in the making. They're reminders of simpler times, of family gatherings, and of the joy that comes from sharing a warm breakfast with loved ones. The beauty of these breakfasts lies in their simplicity and versatility. They can be dressed up with a few extra ingredients or enjoyed just as they are, depending on your mood. And no matter how many times you make them, each dish will always bring that feeling of familiarity and comfort. So next time you're looking to kickstart your day, reach for one of these timeless classics. Whether it's a hearty breakfast skillet to fuel you through the day or a sweet cinnamon roll to savor with your morning coffee, You can't go wrong. These dishes will never go out of style. They're the kind of meals that make mornings feel like something special. Thanks for joining me on this journey through some of the best breakfasts of the past. I hope these dishes have inspired you to get in the kitchen, make something delicious, and enjoy the simple pleasure of a home-cooked breakfast. Until next time, keep cooking, keep sharing, and remember, sometimes the best memories are made around the breakfast table.